Hey, what's up? Alex here. This video is another episode of looking at some of the latest cleaning tech out there. There are a variety of them today. We have cordless vacuums, robot vacuum, and steam mops. All of these are sent over to me, but totally up to me how I like to review them. Some of them I have used for about 2 to 3 months. Some of them I just received from the supplier. So if it's like a first impression, I will let you know. So I will be definitely covering the good and bad, and of course my personal recommendation. Alright, let's start. The first one is a very recent launched new vacuum product line by Dyson. It's called the OmniGlide. I'm not sure whether you can tell the size of this. Let me put this beside my Dreamy V11 to give you an idea. The first thing that comes to my mind when I see this product is, how is this going to compare with their flagship vacuum? And how is Dyson positioning this vacuum? The OmniGlide, as you can tell, is much smaller. It is also lighter in weight. Let's look at the design first. The handle part is not your typical cordless design that is like holding a gun. It's simply like a stick, which is also the housing for the battery. You have two controls here, normal and max power. Moving down is the motor and filtration system. Of course, this is all using the Dyson technology, but now in a more compact form factor. Then further down is the dustbin area. To empty the bin, press this and push it down like this. Below that is where you fit in the different attachments. Another selling point is this vacuum cleaner head. You can see that it actually has two roller brush here, with these 4-liter wheels below that is able to turn 360 degrees. Dyson engineered this vacuum to be used in all sorts of direction, front, back, sideways, and still able to pick up everything. This means you can really go around the edges very easily. Another part I really like is how low it is able to go. Unlike other vacuum, you will have this problem. For surface cleaning, it comes with these attachments. I would prefer they provide an attachment like this with the brush. Reason is the body of the OmniGlide is already pretty long without any attachment. So if I want to do surface cleaning that is generally near to you, it feels a bit awkward to hold. But at the same time, it's very good at reaching to areas that are further from you. Few other things to note is it can only work on hard floors. The roller brush will simply stop moving when in contact with carpet. Battery runtime is up to 20 minutes at normal power, and max power is 4 minutes. No battery indicator on the vacuum. There are two models available for the OmniGlide. What I have here is the gold color where it will come with this light pipe crevice tool. This model retails at $699. The other one is just without the tool and purple in color at $659. The thing with Dyson is you can tell the difference in the product quality. Simply take this brush as an example. So what do I think about this after using it for 3 months? I think if you are looking for a cordless vacuum for the entire house, then the OmniGlide is suitable for houses that are around the size of a 3-room HDB, about 70 square meter. Not just because of the battery life, you can always get additional battery, but also because of its size and the amount of time it will take. So if you have a much bigger house, go with a normal vacuum like the V10, V11. But for me, I'm using it just to vacuum my study room, surface cleaning, and areas where my robot vacuum can never reach before I start mopping the floor. Then it does really a very good job at that because of how easy it is able to reach those tight areas in my house. The next item we are going to look at is the latest Samsung robot vacuum. It's called JetBot or JetBot Plus. With the Plus means it comes with the auto empty station. I'm actually very surprised to see this new robot vacuum from Samsung. So all along they have the PowerBot with Cyclone 4 series of product line, but they are never popular or well reviewed in the robot vacuum world is because the PowerBot series is not using LiDAR sensor. I mentioned before, any robot vacuum that is not using LiDAR is simply not good enough. So I think it's very good that they listen to users' feedback, understand technology trend, and now they are not focusing on the PowerBot series anymore. You can see that when you go to their website. Instead, they launched this new JetBot vacuum using LiDAR and even printed on the robot itself to let everybody know that they are now using LiDAR. Okay, let's briefly look at the design first. This robot comes only in pure white color, same for the auto empty station. Looking at the internal bin and filter mechanism, this looks to be of a higher quality than the one I saw from Ecovacs and Roborock actually. I like that it has this on and off switch here, which is not something commonly seen. You can see their sensors are huge as well. Underneath, the wheels are well built. There's only one side brush. Another huge differentiator is this roller brush over here. So for this robot, I have been using it for 2 months and I haven't once cleaned this roller brush before. Look at this. No hair entangled at the side at all, and this type of roller brush is similar to what Dyson use for their own vacuum. This definitely cleans much better than the normal typical roller brush you see in other robots. So huge plus point for this. Next, let's look at the software features. So of course, Samsung Appliance definitely integrates with Samsung SmartThings as well, so that to me is another point that I will take into consideration. Else it also supports directly on Google Home and Alexa. The initial mapping of the house is very fast. Then you can also edit the map such that to divide or combine the areas and mark them as a room depending on how you like to do it. Then setting the no-go zones, which is a standard must-have feature. But one thing it lacks is setting the cleaning sequence of the rooms. The workaround is configuring a schedule, but I hope Samsung will just add this feature in. There are 3 cleaning modes you can set. There is also a preview to show you the differences. One thing I realized about this robot is it is able to clean the edges really well. I can tell that because I don't see the dirt I used to see when I'm mopping the floor after that. With the auto empty station, after every cleaning cycle, when the robot reaches back to dock, it will automatically suck out all the dirt into the dust bag.
Emptying the bin.
There is also another filtration system within the station. Battery power don't matter too much these days because most of them already has the feature to go back to dock, to recharge and resume cleaning after that. The Samsung JetBot is priced at $799, with the station is $1099. This puts them in the premium price range similar to the Ecovacs T9 and Roborock S7, but still significantly cheaper than the Roomba iRobot. So after 2 months of using this, will I recommend it? First of all, if you're looking for a robot vacuum that does mopping for you, this doesn't have the feature at all. But I talked about the issue of using robot to do mopping in my previous video. So without mopping, it's fine with me. I haven't tried any of the auto clean mopping robot before, like the Narwhal or the Ecovacs N9 Plus, so I can't comment whether those are really good for mopping. In my channel, I only recommend Ecovacs and Roborock before, so now I'm comfortable putting the Samsung JetBot in this list as well. So many of you expressed interest of the Black & Decker steam mop I reviewed in my previous video. Finally, I got their latest model to test it out. I only received this not long ago from the time this video is published. Used a couple of times, so this is more like an initial impression. This old model here is the 10-in-1, but it has been discontinued. You might still be able to get it from second hand. What they have now is this 6-in-1 that retails at $269. Let's take a look at the design of this model. So you can see for this, they go with the handheld design with the water tank at the top. This means that you can't have it stand upright by itself. But the advantage of this design is when you are doing mopping for those areas that you need to go very low, like under the sofa or cabinets, it's much easier to do so where you don't have that water tank obstructing your way. Detaching away the mopping stick, here are the other attachments that are provided in the packaging that you can use. Looking at the water tank unit, here is where you refill the water. Same thing, you can adjust the amount of steam for different flooring. So basically lowest for wood or laminate, medium for vinyl or tiles, then you can go highest for marble or stone. This is a very good feature, especially if you're afraid that steam mop will damage your flooring. I will elaborate a little more later. You have rubber feet at the base, an on-off switch here, but this doesn't have the catch mechanism to control the steam. Instead, there is an off at the heat selection dial. So once power is switched on, the dial is not pointing at off, steam will automatically come out. That's a little troublesome because you can't stop the steam without putting the unit down. It will be better if the on-off switch is at the thumb position instead of right at the side. Surprisingly, the water capacity of the newer model is more than the old one. New one can hold about 450 ml, the old one is about 350 ml. So the bigger the capacity means the lesser number of times you need to refill the water. In terms of power cord length, both are the same, which is really long enough. So between these two, which do I like more and where I recommend this product? For mopping, I prefer the new 6-in-1 model. It's more comfortable and easier to maneuver it around. But if we move away the mopping stick and using it with the other attachments, I actually prefer the older model because of the catch mechanism and also being able to attach in this steam nozzle indirectly. So if you happen to already have a Black & Decker steam mop, I would say no need to get this one. But if you don't have a steam mop and is looking to buy one, I would definitely recommend you to check this out. The last item is a Black & Decker cordless handheld vacuum. This product is positioned as a budget choice, retails at $296 now. I didn't use this much, so it's more like an initial first impression, just to share with you some of the pros and cons I observed if you plan to get this. Straight from the packaging, you will be able to identify one very positive point about this budget vacuum. That is the removable battery and charging dock. You can charge this with or without the battery attached to the vacuum. And having replaceable battery is a very good selling point, especially for a budget vacuum. Most of the time, the lifespan of all those cordless cleaning tech is tied to its battery lifespan. So if the battery is non-replaceable, once the battery died, you have to change the whole thing. This is also Black & Decker's standard battery used across their other products like their power tools. Another interesting thing about this vacuum is the ability to stand upright despite having a handheld design. This is something I never seen before. Let's briefly look at the components and attachments. Comes with these 3 attachments which can be attached from this extension rod or directly from the main unit. The weight of this is slightly on the heavier side in my opinion. To empty the bin, just push this up. You can take out the filter on the top to clean this. Press this to empty the bin and then put it back this way. Controls are on the top near the handle. There are 3 power levels. Then you also have this button to switch on or off the roller brush. When it is on, you can see LED lights at the vacuum head. Let's take a look at the roller brush. This looks like those typical brush used by many robot vacuum. Not a fan of this type of brush because based on my experience, this type of brush will tend to have lots of hair entangled to it and doesn't clean as well as those that I've shown just now. But Black & Decker claim this is their patented anti-tangle brush bar, so I'm not sure about this. Definitely have to use this for a long period of time to tell. Overall, in terms of recommendation, I'm pretty neutral with this. If you're looking for a cordless vacuum with removable battery within a budget of $300, can go check this out. So with all sorts of these vacuum and mop products here, I got asked many times what's my cleaning schedule and ultimately what will I use with all these choices here. I will definitely for sure go with the robot vacuum with the auto empty station to cover the daily vacuum. Then I will also grab the Dyson OmniGlide next to complement the robot and to cover all the surface cleaning. However, if you like to do manual vacuum and mopping daily, then I would say go with this kind of all-in-one like the Hyzero or Tineco. Personally, I prefer the Tineco more. But in terms of the level of cleanliness, these are no match with steam mops. Steam mops are really crazy clean without the use of any chemicals. So I'm using a steam mop to mop the floor once every week. First, I will let the robot go 1 round, then use the OmniGlide to cover those areas that the robot is unable to reach. Then lastly is steam mop. Some of you are concerned whether steam mops will damage your floor, especially for hard wooden floor or vinyl. I would say use them the correct way. Apply the recommended setting according to the floor material or just use a lower setting if you are still worried. Then next is apply the same concept as ironing your clothes. When you iron your clothes, you won't let the iron stay at the same spot, right? Same for steam mop, just keep going and when you need to pause, I will leave it somewhere and not place it on the floor directly. So that's it. Hope this video is useful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in the comments below. Thumbs and share if you like this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.